Hello, brother sewing and crafting family. I'm brand ambassador Angela Wolf, and we are at your side virtually today. Welcome to the party. Today we are live streaming on Brothers Facebook and YouTube pages for sewing and crafting. So say hi, say where you're from. We always love to see that. And also, if you're new to the party, welcome. We have a lot of fun here. So today we have a wonderful guest, of course, brother brand ambassador Joanne Banko, and wait till you see what she has in store. Actually, we were just chatting behind the scenes, and I'm thinking, I cannot believe that Labor Day is over. That means it's fall. I don't know what's going to happen, but all it makes me think of is Joanne's beautiful scarf. So let's bring Joanne up to the party. Hi, Joanne. How are you?
Hey, everybody. I got my glasses on today so I can see all real good.
I'll go on and off. It depends what I'm reading.
I hear you.
How are you? I hope you had a great weekend.
I'm good. I hope you did too. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was a nice, long one. So I hope everybody got lots of sewing done, maybe some relaxation, family time, whatever makes you happy there in your happy space.
Oh, yeah. So, Joanne, I have to tell you, I love your cat. And guess what? I told you I wanted a cat, but I'm so allergic that we're afraid to get one. So we have a new cat that has adopted us up at our cottage. And we thought it was a bobcat because it's missing a tail, but turns out it's a Manx, Manx, not to be mixed up with minx. And supposedly you could train this thing. So we've named him Bobby since he looks like a bobcat.
Aww.
And he ate very well over the weekend. And I'm trying to teach him how to play fetch now. So I'll keep you posted on that. But he's definitely a wild cat. So I have a feeling we're going to have to buy a doghouse for him for the winter.
That's really something. Oh my, they know who to go to and who to find.
Yes, they do. So speaking of, everybody's rolling in saying hi, welcome. What are you showing us today? I read a little glimpse of it, but I know it's something that a lot of us have issues with embroidery. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, it is National Sewing Month, right? So we all have something to celebrate. Like we don't celebrate that every day, right? But it is kind of nice to have a dedicated month set for us that are sewing enthusiasts.
I like that. I could take the whole year, but we'll settle with a month. That's okay.
Very good. Very good. I'm just checking to see who all here. A lot of our regulars, Diane, Phyllis, Sandra, Josie Sews. So all of our good friends are here joining us today. It's really great to see everybody. I would like to talk a little bit about taming texture on terry cloth today. I thought that might be something that comes up kind of often, right? I know when folks get into doing machine embroidery, what's a lot of times one of the first things you reach for to do embroidery on? Take a guess. Towels, right? They're just
everything furry.
Yeah, and you think about it, like most towels are sold blank, and a lot of times we hunt for blanks when we do machine embroidery. There's a lot of things you buy these days that are already embellished, and we're kind of like bypassing all that stuff on the rack because we're trying to find something plain so we can embellish it ourselves. And towels, generally speaking, you're going to find a lot of really nice blank towels, but they are a challenge. And it's funny because like I said, it's kind of a thing that a lot of beginners reach for to do as maybe one of their first projects. Wow, we got Diane here from Australia. She stayed up till 2 a.m. to watch us. That's great. But
I also see quite a few of our friends from the Louisiana area popping in. So hopefully that means they have their power back, at least this handful that I'm seeing here.
We've been thinking about everybody that's had, all the issues from the storm, and our hearts are with you for sure. Definitely. But anyway, back to the towel idea. So I thought I would show you a variety of different ways that you could tame the texture on towels. And you know me, I always like to try to find something that's going to work for whatever level you're at or whatever equipment you have, whatever, brother machine you have, whatever brother software you have. There's always lots of options and lots of different ways to do things. So I thought I would start out by showing you how to tame the texture using a feature that I actually used on this sample. Bring that a little closer for you. Probably can hardly see what I did there, but this cute little swimming bear is from Embroidery.com, the brother exclusive embroidery download site. And this is surrounded by what we call nap control stitches, commonly known as, what is the other word people like to use? Knockdown stitches.
That's all I always think of, knockdown
Yep.
stitches. It's
Yep.
easy to remember.
And it's exactly what it's doing. It's knocking down the texture, or in this case, the terry cloth, so that it can create a base for the stitches to form and not have the terry cloth fluff up around the design as it's washed, because that's really the issue. I mean, if you use just a topper on toweling, and your design might look great when you take it out of the hoop, but then throw it in the wash machine, throw it in the dryer, which is commonly what you're going to do, obviously, with a towel. And then all of a sudden it's like grass that grows and covers up the golf balls that you knew you had out there and you can't see anymore, So it gets fluffed up around there. So this is done in software. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this in just a minute, but nope, never fear. I've got some other ways for you to do this, depending on what else you have in your machine. And we're also going to show applique feature today too, as well. So,
all right, we're very excited.
So I'll go ahead and get my screen set up here.
As soon as I see it, I'll bring that up for you. There we go.
Okay. All right. So I have
ask your questions on YouTube and Facebook, and when she's finished with one area, I'll stop her and have her answer for you.
For sure. So I'm using the BES4 Dream Edition software with Power Pack 1 added. Power Pack 1 was an upgrade package that you could purchase, and that's what gave us, among many things, the ability to create the knockdown stitches using the nap control feature. So I've already got something started here. All I did was bring in an embroidery design and set it up on the page. This will work with any design you bring in. I used a design that's built right into the software, but you can use embroidery designs that you're importing in. It'll work with anything, absolutely anything. And it really only takes just a few simple clicks. So I would have normally been on the Home tab when I brought in this design, just from Add Design. If I go to Add Design and I go to the menu, I pulled this one out of the accents, so that you can see there where I actually got this from. And you can resize these accents. They're built into the software so that they are resizable in the native format of the software. So you can create these in a multitude of different sizes. But to add the knockdown stitches, we're going to need to go and switch to the Tools tab. So right up there, I'm going to switch to Tools. And if you notice over here, this is where my nap control icon is. Now, it's grayed out. And, we all run into this. I don't know if anybody else here is like me, but I could do something 100 times. And then if I don't do it for a while and I come back to it and I go, why isn't this working? Well, it's usually because you miss a click, right? It's as simple as that. So we've got one click missing here. What we need to do is select the design. So by clicking on it, it's now selected. You can see it's got the box around it and all the little black boxes that allow us to resize it and rotate it and change the shape. And then you can see all the items in the sequence view are highlighted too. So we know that the entire design is now selected. Now you see, voila, my nap control all ready to roll. So I just simply click on that and it gives me some options here. So I've got an option to change the offset. And what that means is how close do I want this to form to the design? And I can, change it from an outline or from the actual stitches. And I can, make that area larger or smaller. So I'm going to just leave it at the default. And then I can also choose to add a finishing run, which just adds an outline stitch around the outside of your knockdown stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I think that's a nice way to kind of finish it off. And I'm going to click OK. And they're there. The only thing is you probably can't see them really well. So I'm going to go ahead and change that color to a dark purple. And then I'm going to, let me just go to view and let me go back home here and let me do just a a little bigger view there so you can see it. And now I'm going to click on 3D draw so that you can see that in exactly what it's going to look like in real stitches. So you can see from the sequence view here that purple is going to fill the entire area, both underneath the embroidery design and all around it. So it's knocking down all the texture of that terry cloth in the entire area where the design is going to form, and then adding a little bit of an outline around it as well. And that's where we could have changed that so that it had more or less, so it's a little bit more visible or less visible. Now, I like to still use water-soluble topping when I do this, just because it keeps everything nice and smooth and helps the knock it down, I think, a little bit better. But really and truly, that's as simple as it is. And then you're ready to go ahead and hoop up your fabric and stitch that out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just go back, and you could bring me back up and I'll show the sample again.
All right.
So that you can see what I did here. I used thread color that is very, very, very close to my terry cloth. So can you see that, how that just blended right in?
It really does.
That's the whole idea. You don't want your knockdown stitches to be a different color unless you're using that as a design feature. We all know, embroidery, beauty is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to embroidery. You do whatever makes you happy. But personally, I tend to go with just that tone-on-tone color so that it pretty much blends in. And unless you're really looking for this, you may not even notice it at all. But this sample has already been washed and dried in the dryer. So I did that with all 3 of the samples that I'm going to show you today so that you can see exactly what it's going to look like on a real towel. And this is a pretty fluffy, this is that Turkish terry cloth that has a really nice nap to it. So this is really a huge problem solver for embroidering on towels.
That is a huge problem solver. And anyone who's ever tried embroidering on towels, when they try this, they're going to say, all right, yay.
It will add just a little bit of density to your design. Like when if you can see kind of how it stiffens it up just a little bit. But terry cloth generally is really a very stable surface to embroider on. So somebody's going to ask what I did on the back side. I know somebody is. So let me flip this around.
That's like looking at the hem inside the dress.
Of course. I used just a tearaway, and I was able to get almost all of that out. I see there's only one little tiny bit left there. You could use a wash away as well. Generally, when I embroider on towels, I usually hoop my towel by itself. Of course, you can use a variety of different hoops. If you're doing a bigger towel, you can use our magnetic hoop that Brother has. But I like to just slip that tearaway underneath the hoop so it's floating underneath it and doesn't get hooped with the actual fabric.
Absolutely.
That's as easy as it gets. I see somebody's asking software wise. Again, this is the Brother BES4 software with Power Pack 1 upgrade added to it. And this will work for anybody, really. It's a multi-format software. We could talk for all day on what BES4 does.
Yeah, so Lynn wants to know, she has the PE800. Will the software work with that? How does it work?
Just go. You can save. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can save the design to virtually any home format. And of course, we use the PES format. So that's all she needs for her machine. And she can use whatever hoop size she has available. So.
See, Lynn, you don't have to upgrade unless you really want to. Then you can, but you don't have to. Well, and Shirley wants to know, can you do this exact same thing in the PE design, PE11, PE10? Do you know?
Actually, PE11 does not have nap control per se. I don't know what that word means, but per se, it doesn't really. There are some ways that you could use a background fill stitch to give you the same effect. So maybe that's a subject for another day. But it's designed in the BES4 to really be just, click, click, boom, you're done. It's easy peasy.
All right, everybody's saying thank you, great idea. Josie wants that magnetic hoop. That makes two of us, Josie. That new smaller one is awesome. All right.
So that's definitely, kind of my go-to favorite method for taming texture on terry cloth. Remember, terry cloth just means we're working with fluffy fabric. So the same technique will work for, think of anything else that's fuzzy, fleece, plush fabrics, those
How
plush
about like
fabrics.
a soft velvet?
Yeah, exactly. Anything that's got that, got that nap, and you need to get that nap. Basically, what you're doing is you're kind of like trying to mash it down only in the area of embroidery so it doesn't creep back up around your embroidery design. It's going
Salad.
to be compacted underneath, but yeah, there is no limitation to machine. So any machine, can work with this software, because you're doing this on your computer, and then you're saving the design and sending it to the machine. And BES4 is a brother dealer product, so check with your brother dealer for that.
I put the website right below there. Just go to brothersews.com, and when you go in there, you can scroll down, look for your dealer, punch in your area code. I always want to, zip code. I always say area code. Your zip code, and it will tell you where your closest one is, and just give them a call.
Yes, Debbie. Minky, it'll work for Minky. Anything, like I said, anything that you've got that's got that little bit of raised texture to it, it'll work. Absolutely. Excellent. It's just it's a really good a really good technique, and it always works. It always works. There's like no limitation to it. It's I know a lot of people, I kind of lost my train of thought just for a second, but a lot of people have gotten BES4 software as part of a package from their dealer. And what happens, again, we all do this. We get all excited about the machine. We get the machine set up. We start cranking away on the machine, and we might forget, oh, I had that box that I stuck in the corner. What was that? Well, if you've got software, get it loaded, because it's not doing you any good sitting in a box. Get it loaded on your computer, and at least get started with something. I think software is best learned in chunks. Like, what do you want to do? Oh, well, I want to do a towel. I want to tame the texture. Okay, now I just showed you how to do that, so you can try that. If you have a project or something that you're going to be able to apply it to, you're a lot more likely to make use of it and actually learn how to do it.
It's funny you say that. I didn't even realize this is what you were going to be showing today. And I'm working on a project, and I could not figure it out. And so I brought Cindy's book, that's like super thick, has a ton of information. I brought it to the cottage and flipped through. There's so much information in there to learn. And I like how you say take it in chunks. Otherwise, you're like, whoa, there's a lot. But that's a great resource too.
Yeah, Cindy's book. Cindy is the be all and end all on all software. So we always go to her for our real advice and real instruction. But her book on BES4 program is excellent. It's an excellent resource. But again, like I said, I think it's a really good idea to, and I know Cindy feels the same way. Learn how to do something and then actually do it. Actually put it into practice on something, even if it's just a sample. So. Sandra has an interesting comment here. She says she does this with PE11 and the applique feature. Yeah, and then she uses the net stitch. Yep, that's basically the net stitch is basically a fill background, so that will do a very, very similar type thing. Yep, I've done that on fleece just kind of as an experiment. So it's use whatever crayons you have in your crayon box, right? Just dig in there and start using some of that. And then brother put a link for the software. If you go to the software page, you'll see all kinds of listings of what that software will do for you. So I'm a big fan of BES4 software. I use PE Design 11, but BES4 has different features, and it's the software that I very often will go to when I want to do something really quick, because there's whenever there's less to choose from, it's always kind of a quicker route to get there. So
excellent. And it's easy to use, by the way.
Very easy to use. Very, very user friendly. Okay, any more? And anybody can find Cindy on Facebook. Just Google search Cindy Hogan, and you'll find her, and you'll be able to find her book. definitely.
Yeah, it's actually Tuesday, so she's on at 4:30 today live. So don't forget about that.
That's right. That is Tuesday.
How
How did Tuesday get here so fast?
I know. All right. So what else, Joanne? You wanted to show us something at the machine, I believe.
Well, I'm going to do one more thing here, just because this is kind of a quickie. So
Okay.
this is my little sample that tells you it will work for everybody and anybody. And I mean everybody, and I mean anybody. So no matter what machine, every Brother embroidery machine has a feature called frame patterns that you can access through your embroidery menu. Okay. And what I did here is I simply laid down a layer of netting, just regular, normal, we call it bridal tulle. And I laid down one or two, I used 2 layers. I can see I used 2 layers on this. Okay. And I laid that on and I stitched my embroidery design over it. Hang on, I got to get a little sip of water here. Whew, I got a little warm and a little dizzy. So hang on just a second here. Let me regroup. Whew.
You okay there, Joanne?
Yeah, let me just have a minute here to regroup.
All right.
Why don't you see if there's any comments or anything?
All right. Let me just check here. I'll take you out for a sec. Get some water. Allergy season. All right. Let's see what else I have here. Where can you get Cindy's book? Yes, you can go to cynthiasembroidery.com, which she is a Brother Brand ambassador, which is why I'm sharing that. And you can also watch her show today. So we'll check on Joanne here in a sec.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you back?
I'll be back in just a minute. Just a minute. Whew, I don't know why I got a little bit of a dizzy spell here. So when we did that, all I did was
I am going to let you guys go here. I'll be right